This investment text is an H3 element. So we'll create a selector for that and make it so that it has the same styling as what we have in our mockup. This is 30 points, so we'll make it 30 pixels. It is not in bold, so we'll take that out, since H3s will be in bold by default. And then we'll make it italic. There's also a space of about 25 pixels between this H3 and the paragraph after it. Let's see if we can remember all that. Font size is 30 pixels. We're taking out bold, so we'll say font weight normal, making it italic. So font style italic. Margin bottom of 25 pixels to add that space between the H3 element and the paragraph. Let's save that. Refresh. And that's what we get here. This H3 now looks more like this, and it has a space. Contact is also an H3 element with the same properties, so that's what we're getting here. That went ahead and created that for us, or changed it to that style. Next, let's take a look at the paragraph here. It is 16 pixels, which is the default for paragraphs, so we don't have to do anything with that, but we do have to add something to where there's more of a space between the edge of the container and the content. And we'll estimate that to be about 15 pixels. To add that space to the left and right, what we can do is go to our aside selector and put a padding on the left of 15 pixels, and a padding to the right of 15 pixel. And I'll probably go ahead and do something for the bottom, so we don't have it to where the text is right there at the edge. Let's see what that looks like. Save and refresh. And we get something like this. We added a padding on the left and right, but we ended up messing up the width of the aside container. And that's because right now by default, aside is taking into consideration any kind of padding on the left and right sides to calculate the width. And that's the default. If you don't want that, if you don't want padding to be added into the calculation, we can use this property. We can say box sizing and border box. When you do that, it will not count padding into the calculation. Save and refresh. Now we're back to where aside is not using padding left and padding right to add to the calculation of the width. Next, we'll add a space between this paragraph and contact, and that's about, we'll just say 30 pixels. We'll target paragraphs that are inside aside using the aside P selector. Margin bottom, 30 pixels. I think that's what I said. Something like that. Save and refresh. Now we have a margin at the bottom of any paragraph inside an aside container. That would be this paragraph and this paragraph. Comparing that with our mockup, I think it looks pretty good. Now, before moving on to the services main content portion, I want to show you how to create a hyperlink for an email address. In your HTML, look for the email me line. We'll just make that into a hyperlink to where when people click on it, it's a hyperlink to an email address. It's the same concept as creating a hyperlink that goes to a web page. The only difference would be the value that you put in the href. We'll start with the opening A tag for the href attribute. For the href attribute value, you put in mail to, MAILTO, colon, and then you put in the email address. We'll just use my email address, eragus@ucmo.edu. So any email hyperlinks that you create will follow this format in the opening anchor tag. And then in the href, you start with mail to, semicolon, and then whatever the email address is. And make sure you don't forget your closing anchor tag. Save that and refresh. And now we have that to where that's a hyperlink. Now, I want to do something about that hyperlink though, because I don't want it to be white. I want it to be the same color as this. Now I need to go to my CSS and do something about that. We'll say for any hyperlink that's inside a side, it should be this color. Save and refresh. And now it's the right color. And if you really want to help out your users, you might also go ahead and add an underline if you want to, or not. It might be self-explanatory for many users that an email me link or line or text would be a hyperlink. So I think I'll leave that alone. Let's compare that one more time. Okay, I think the sidebar looks good. In the next video, we'll get started with formatting the services section.